तू मैं होता है, बट तू मैं तो कोई प्रोफेशनल जो बाहर से आएगा उसके साथ भी होता है. There's always going to be difference of opinions. All the fingers are different. Everyone is going to look at the same thing differently.
You're watching Not Just Aunty with Suman Chhabria-Addepalli.
I'm so happy to present Nina Lekhi, a self-made entrepreneur and a role model for many aspiring entrepreneurs. She's MD and Chief Design Curator of the brand Baggit, and she's 55 years old. Her failure in the first year of her arts course at Sophia Polytechnic, Mumbai was a turning point in her life. She then took part-time courses and jobs as a sales girl before making fashionable bags at home. One thing led to another, and before she knew it, she was selling her bags at small stores and exhibitions in Mumbai. Today, 30 years later, Baggit is a 150 crore company and the favorite bags and accessories brand for most Indian women. I believe Nina and I are connected at a spiritual level. Why do I say that? Because when she was looking for a writer for her biography, Baggit All, I was chosen from all the writers out there, and this was a huge coincidence. Because she happens to be my senior from the same school in South Bombay, a fact which both of us were unaware of, and also both of us are Sindhi Shikarpuris. So not only did we have a blast while working on the book, I learned a lot from her inspirational journey. And I hope this interview will benefit all those who are watching it.
You're watching Not Just Aunty.
So finally we make it, and with all the niggles in the beginning of this interview, so we are here. So how are you and where are you?
Yeah, I'm in this beautiful place. It's a resort. It's called Hidden Oasis, somewhere near Pune. It's Garade, and it's simply, oh my God, there's a lakeside and everything. So the best part is Manjo, my husband. He does this every month. He goes for a 1 week of silence and, just like a scope time, like clearing, sorting, a lot of stuff. So we tag along, and it's a great place.
Yes, and your daughter and you.
Yeah, my daughter Vedosi and me, we also tag along for 3-4 days, and then we go back. So it's a good week now that I'm going to be out like that most of the time, either here or in the ashram, and then hit Mumbai Thursday, Friday, and then be with customers. So I think that's the pulse, and so spend the weekend working rather than the typical 9 to 6 so-called
weekday
timings. Yeah. So I'm excited because I remember we had a great time when you wrote the book for me, and it was too much fun, and I'm sure this interview is also going to be that much fun.
Yeah. I mean, like I said in the the editorial of the book, I had mentioned that I think the god of coincidences has brought us together, because you're a Shikarpuri Sindhi, so am I. You happen to be from the same school as me in Beach Candy, Green Lawns, and I don't know how in the whole world, both of us got together and we had so much fun while writing the book. So my first question, Nina, is that whenever I speak to you, and I have got to know you a lot in the course of writing Baggit All, is that I always find two personalities in you. One is the giggly, parting, kabhi bhi adventure pe jana hai, and the other one is a very introspective, business leader who's always focused on the next target at work and business goals. So how do you manage these two personalities?
I think all of us manage it, right? And I think women manage it a lot more. I think the roles that a woman plays are many more than guys play. And I think, but I think the key to the whole thing is like how Lord Krishna says, it's like karmane vadikaraste ma phalesh sukadachana. That means you be in it, but you be detached, So you don't get attached to being, the CEO of the company, or you don't get attached to being a mom, or you don't get attached to being this giggly and partying person. All of it is just, what you want to be at that moment, and just know that it's all a role.
Okay, right. Absolutely agreed. All of us have different facets to our personality. Yeah, so I get what you're saying, in short. The other question I wanted to ask you, which I was sharing with you before this chat, was so you have a background in design. and you're managing a 150 crore handbag and accessories company. So, how do you manage business planning, customer service, after sales service without a formal degree in management? I mean, my question, in other words, is have you felt that not having a formal training has been a setback?
I think the crux of my business, the way I look at it, is still design, because design is very, very centric to me. And internationally also, if you see design in the form of maybe, maybe not only handbags, but in all kinds of products, whether it be car designs, it be utility products that we use at home, or graphics. I think design is so much there in the Western and the European countries. Here it's just looked at, hi, designer laga do, kya hai? But I think there's some departments that you can do like that, like a customer care associate. You can always get someone who has done that before and who can take care of it. But I think the most important thing is the consciousness that you come from. Like, for example, if I care for my customers and I'm running my business because I want to serve and I want to give the best, and I want to take care of them, want to really, I believe in them having the best of whatever we can offer. And when I come from there, then my representative in the front who's talking to my customers is also coming from that same energy. And the second part is about business management schools. I think it's great to be in college, but I don't know how you can ever learn how to handle people in you learn it hands-on, right? It's like, how do you learn to handle your kid? You learn it hands-on. And how do you learn to handle your relationships in your house, your brother-in-laws, your mother-in-laws, and so many people in your family? You learn all of it just out there. Similarly, I think in a business also, when a person joins as an executive, she may have done a business management program and come, and I haven't done it, but that person also learns hands-on. And I think that is what life teaches us, a little give, a little take. But I think the highest form, so earlier I used to look at a lot of management things in the way of motivating my team from the perspective of KRA, carrot and stick method. But I think it's more and higher than that, is the belief that I have and you have. Like, if you are part of my team and we both know that एक ही मुकाम है, एक ही जगह पहुंचना है, हमको करना है, and that feeling of that team thing is far higher than anything, because then you live it, you breathe it, all of that.
Right, that's a great answer, and I'm just wondering whether I should throw my MBA degree in the dustbin. So, just kidding. I get what you're saying, that once you have the goal, and Baggit as a company is design heavy. I think your designation also is something to do with design, right?
Chief Design Curator.
Yeah, you don't call yourself the CEO as such. I think you
and founder. Yeah, I think my marketing head named me that because he saw me meddling so much in the design. He was like, "Design Curator, likh do."
No, I'm glad. I mean, I always want to know which are the bags which you have designed, as a customer. And I was a customer long before I wrote the book, and very loyal customer. You've seen me with, at any point of time, I'm using only Baggit bags, that I'm marketing, unsolicited marketing of your bags and the zips and the long life, and how I never have to throw away a bag because it has worn out. I have only given away bags which I've got sick of. So again, this is not a marketing plug. I genuinely mean it.
No, I know that.
So my next question is, I have seen you juggle your media interactions, even your exercise, work, along with your teenage daughter. I mean, she was much younger a few years ago. And I've seen you take her everywhere. And, when you're doing the most serious of, not serious parts of being the founder of Baggit. So how do you manage this? Because it's tough as a mom to carry your child, with all their tantrums everywhere.
Yeah, I think life is like that. If you find something impossible, if you find something tough, then it is tough. But if you're driven, like you're driven, booth ho gaya, booth. Okay, it's like, I want to do this, and I'm going to go there, and I'm going to reach there, and I can see it happening, and that's all I am for. That's, if you come from there, then everything seems like a play, and everything seems like fun. Like, if you see my WhatsApp, I think not my WhatsApp, my Insta, I think I've put up the last meeting where my husband is carrying my laptop and we are going to the river, the waterfall. And I'm literally doing my meeting with my earphones on, and I'm like this, and I'm under the waterfall. I'm like, because everyone's time management we had to manage, and that was the only time slot they all had. And I had a meeting and I couldn't change that. So I did a meeting like that, and I've been doing it like this forever. And I think it's great fun. I go to the factory warehouse, which is like 1 hour away from my house, and I cycle back on the highway. And I do my meetings. Obviously I don't do a meeting where I need to see an Excel sheet because I won't be able to help them. But there's so many conversational things, and I think it's so much fun when you do it that way. And actually, do you have a choice as a woman? No, you don't have a choice. You have to take care of the baby. And but one thing I really feel bad about, when I remember when I was breastfeeding Vedosina, this is 20 years ago, and because this is the not just mom thing I'm talking about, something like that, intimate of that. And I used to be feeding her, and I used to do my calls, and my husband used to say, focus on her, just be with her. But you're feeding forever and ever, 45 minutes and 1 hour, and they want to know something. So I still feel guilty about that, but it's just and I think all of us go through these guilt things that I wasn't there at that time. Like I mean, my daughter's friends, moms used to reach 3 o'clock, school khatam hua, 3 o'clock they'll be there, and I'll always be that 15-20 minutes later. And my daughter used to be like, Mom, why you always late? I was like, "Yaar, kitna kaam chhod ke aayi hu."
No, I think I'm saying this with experience with both my daughters. I think if children see that their parents are working and they are actually struggling to achieve a goal, it instills a lot of values of hard work also in them. So all's not lost. I mean, I know you can live and you can die with that guilt, but I think kids benefit a lot. I have benefited seeing my mother working as a working woman. She was a teacher and she gave tuitions after school. So I think those values, the hustle is downloaded into your genes, when you witness that as a child. So I think it's quite all right. So
and you have to just look at the guilt and say, yes, I got to be guilty. It's fine to be guilty. That's the...
So Baggit is a 30-year-old company, and this is what you've been doing since I think that famous interview which is there. I'm not going to repeat that story. It's been written in the book and it's there all over the web about you failing as a 16-year-old in the first year of commercial art, and how it became like an inspiring goal for you to do well and do something great. So it's been 30 years since you started Baggit. I just want to know that, don't you ever get bored doing the same thing? As we've discussed as friends on a dinner, I keep dabbling in different things and I've started different ventures, but you've been focused with one goal of starting brand Baggit, and today it has reached that consistency has brought it to great heights where it is. But don't you ever feel कि I've just designed bags last season and अभी वापस एक season के लिए अभी वापस material देखना पड़ेगा? Does that ever happen to you?
No, in fact, last week also in some panel thing, I was on a startup, or not a startup. They were big guys. So there were 3 online players, and I was doing this interview, and they were like, most people do it for 7-8 years, and then they sell the brand. And aren't you bored? I was like, no, man, I don't know. Maybe that's maybe I'm from old school or whatever. But and I think that is what you should look at when you want to take up any work. I mean, this is where I come from. That any business or anything, because it takes all of you. It takes a lot, And I think if you really love what you do, I mean, I think that 14 hours I do is less for me. I wish I could do a lot more. It's like I'm absolutely, I think again, it's the vision of, becoming an international brand. It's like you know that you want to reach a particular place, you want to have your international stores, you want to understand consumers, you want to do the best quality, you want to do all of that stuff. And I think that's what makes it.
Fabulous. I loved your answer. Again, I want to touch a little bit upon Siddha Samadhi Yoga, which will dovetail into the next question about you hiring all your male cousins, and they're now in senior management positions, but balancing family at the workplace. So does your dedication and commitment towards Siddha Samadhi Yoga help you in this?
So I think SSY, which is Siddha Samadhi Yoga, helps me in everything. It helps me, like how you said, people management. Actually, it starts with self-management. It starts with self-love. We all know, all these years we thought we have to love others, but actually if you love your own self, you're automatically going to be empathetic, and you're going to be, you're going to understand other people, and you're going to empathize. So I'm saying similarly in this situation also, when you are silent, you're calm, you take out time to meditate, you take out time to chisel yourself. So my husband Manoj is Guruji's one of his closest shishyas, and he's always told me to take out this 1 hour where I take out time where I you chisel yourself, you chisel your brain, so I take out time to think, write what I want to create, how my day was, introspect, all of these things. So taking out that 1 hour in the morning to hear something motivational, and he has like a program where he inculcates this whole culture in you, because it's very easy for us to do the regular things. What does everyone do? Go to party, go drink, do that, do this. So you just like a herd mentality. Everyone is just doing what everyone else does. No one wants to think, how do I reach superlative of what I am, this Nina? How can I just be just better and better as I'm aging? And you can be. If you look at my husband, he looks hot. He's so young, and I mean, he's really. I'm like, wow, what a body! Because he looks at himself, and he takes care of all the aspects. And I think that is so important. A lot of us think that we are doing business, and we forget about our own self. If this engine of the mind, body, soul is not good, how are you going to perform in any areas of your life, whether it be relationships with your family, your kids, whether it be management with people? I think the jad idhar hai. It's like the tree, the roots are deep, it's going to flower, it's going to be big tree, fruits. So that's one thing. And the second part of it is, a lot of my cousins joined me when we were like, when I was having my first exhibition come sale.
Yes,
You need staff for 4 days, and at that time you don't know where to get people, and you just ask, hey, what are you doing? You come and help me for 4 days, and stuff like that. And I'm so blessed to have people like that with me. So I'm saying, tu mein hota hai, but tu mein to koi professional jo bahar se aayega uske saath bhi hota hai. There's always going to be difference of opinions. All the fingers are different. Everyone is going to look at the same thing differently. So that is just life, and so it's not more difficult or more easy to manage A versus B. I think all of us just being motivated to have one goal, one mission, and being a team is a fun. It's like playing a football match, right? You're playing it, and you don't have A team and B team, but you have like multiple teams, multiple worlds and countries, and that's the fun.
Yeah, so and it has manifested in the way you guys have grown. I mean, Baggit has really grown from a 16-year-old doing an exhibition in, say, Simrosa Art Gallery in Breach Candy, and where are you guys today? And how many stores at the moment, if I may ask you that question?
We have about, so totally we have about 400 doors, we would say. That means all your multi-brand, that's your large format, your lifestyle shoppers, and you have a mom and pop.
Shops.
Shop-in-shops there are. Then there's a mom and pop kind of chotu stores in a Ghatkopar or whichever streets. And then obviously the online players are there. And we have 50 of our own stores. And we are doing a lot of franchisees, which are really, really doing so well. I was yesterday in Jodhpur. Oh my God, you can't believe the potential. Man, we didn't have time to sit down. We're like, wow, man, these guys have, Rajasthanis are money. And some of them come in those really traditional dresses. They're wearing those glittery red ghagras and stuff. And you're like, acha, but that's how India is. It's so beautiful. There's a different dialect. And they're buying those bags. And it's interesting learning how that consumer would buy. What would she? And they have so much money. What are we doing in Mumbai?
You want me to keep this?
Yeah.
All right. That brings me to the next question that, malls, footfalls. In Maharashtra, I mean, malls have been shut since the last 3 months, and, the pandemic has hit retail business very hard. So how has Baggit, I mean, I heard you, you had mentioned to me that you have looked out for an online strategy and you have got out of this, but can you tell us a little bit about it to inspire other people who are stuck in this in these issues?
Yeah, I think it's been a very, very tough time. I mean, it's been the toughest time of my life. But I guess God gives challenges to people who are tough to make them stronger. I look at it that way. And I look at so many positive things that have happened due to the COVID. And I think all of us know that, there's lesser traffic, lesser pollution. Yeah, there's a lot more to go. But the awareness is so much more in our minds of, the products that we are consuming or the segregation that we need to do. So much is happening. I mean, I think somewhere he has to also, train ka chain खींचते हैं ना कि बस बहुत हो गया तुम लोगों का. That's what he's doing. So we've had really tough times, and I think my whole team and Baggit has supported me like crazy, through all of them. I mean, I understand as an employee, when you come in, you expect that salary regardless. And, for them having to be able to support the company, go through this tough time. Obviously, we've lost a lot of equity, but, we gained it back as soon as market opened last year, like Jan, Feb, March was good again. Everyone in retail was like, yay, come on, we're back. Again, before we knew what happened, there was the wave 2. But I think things are good now, and we have online. I think online is also a good thing that's come in. There are people who benefited tremendously, because you obviously, all the offline guys are saying, Mintra ka sale dekho, iska sale dekho, uska hamara kya. I mean, there's always going to be someone who's high, low. To hota hai lifetime. But I think all in all, it's like super thing that has happened. And I also feel that the best part is every employee doesn't have to get up in the morning and reach office at 9. It's like, I mean, and we would have never seen this in our life. I have an IT head who's a very good friend of mine, and he used to always say, and he's 60. And he should say, Nina, I'm working from home. I used to say, no, you can't do that. Because everyone else is sitting here. Sanjeev. Yeah. I said, everyone else is sitting here. How can you be sitting at home? Then I used to say, no, you put it on your screen. I don't know whether you're there or you know what you're doing. Because meetings go on for 1-2 hours, and you're talking about IT solution. But this just taught all of us that it is so simple. Why do we have to travel like?
No, and I think people are in such a better frame of mind if they get this a little bit of flexibility, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And I don't know, again, to put my 2 bits, I have been into content and editorial my entire life. And what I was constantly telling, I have worked with FMCG brands, and they were very open to this concept of work from home. But in India, it is assumed that if you're working from home, you're slacking off. And I would always say that look at the person, take that time and see if your deadlines are being met. And look, if there in a team of even 20, there will be 5 people who may slack off, but 15 people will do their work and meet their deadline. So I think the pandemic has opened, because you were given no choice, everyone's minds have been open to this thought. And I think it's also saving a lot of money on physical assets like offices, and keep allowing people to be wherever they are. People are happy, and you can take rent a place where you could visit your whole team for maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So I think it's a very good, I think that's the only silver lining really, that people's minds have been open to this.
Many other silver linings. You don't need so many clothes, you just wear a pair of shorts. So many other things.
You could be wearing like a lungi underneath this interview, and no one will know. Even kids are not wearing the lower half of the uniforms for their Zoom calls. That's really cute. I think people are just chilled out, and but the flip side is a lot of online. I think the eyes are getting tired being online the whole day. So there are pros and cons of
especially for kids and for interactive.
And people are not able to switch off, because this will always be there in your hand. Yeah. So I just want to ask you a question as a CEO. Like, I have got feedback from a lot of CHROs and executive placement firms, a lot of them being run by my friends, or they are my friends who are in these, that there is a mental barrier towards recruiting women over 40. So there is this thing that women over 40 don't have that kind of energy, to put in, or they're not with it. And there is this invisible barrier that, for example, my friend who heads an executive placement firm said that, when she gets job profiles, she's told very clearly that don't take above this age group. Both men and women, but this actually works against women who a lot of times take the early years, when their kids are small, they take those years off their career, and they're actually ready to come back to the workplace at 40. And companies are not so enthusiastic about hiring them. So I want to know your take on this as a CEO.
I think what is most important is that that particular person having the skill set required. So, whether it be online commerce or whether it be design, I don't think age is a barrier or male female is a barrier at all, because ultimately the person has to understand, have the drive, all of those things is more important. And I also feel, in fact, you're better off, especially for women, when you're 40, because you're done with the kids have grown up. I think at 40 plus, you want to achieve and you want to prove, I'm not just a housewife, I'm not just someone who can take care of chotu things. I'm also,
Say not just an auntie.
yeah, I'm not just an auntie. I have the brains to do this, and and I can do it much better because they're much more mature. They know how to handle people, they know how to handle their teams. You don't need to tell them all of that. And as long as they have the skill set for that particular work that you're giving them, I think I to believe a lot in Stree Shakti in women. Nothing against guys, but yeah. And I think also that when you have a small kid, it may be a little difficult time, but if you have the support system around you, and I guess everyone manages a support system somehow, and as long as you have the drive and the determination, I think you're going to go out there and prove yourself. That's it.
Wow, that's a fabulous answer. And now I'm going to ask a question which you may not want to answer, but you have to answer. So, how old are you, Nina? Because I've been attending your 50th birthday since 5 years.
No, I'm very proud to be 55. Hot to 55, going, happening. Come on.
So, when we last spoke regarding work, I mean, before this interview, you spoke about opening stores in Paris and hiring labor from rural India. So, have you inched closer to this dream, or have you been set back by the pandemic?
No. So we have moved there. In fact, not only are we looking at rural, but we are looking at stuff that is biodegradable. Right now, all our products are recyclable. You can't say the same thing for a lot of the other brands that bring in the Chinese products. A lot of them are not at all recyclable. They will lie in Mother Earth for 1,000 years. So there's two things: there's biodegradable and there's sustainable. So right now, Baggit is venturing a lot into biodegradable. That means I throw it into Mother Earth and it just disappears, just like how our body does. There's nothing left. But there's also a recyclable one, which it has to get collected at a collection center, like our plastic, steel, glass. There's already the Kabadi Khana system that's already there in India. So even in handbags, we are doing that. In fact, in our Baggit stores also, we're going to get back the product, because many a times it could go into a garbage dump, and that would not help Mother Earth. So it's important that it goes to the right place for recycling. The garbage collector system is there in place. It may be happening, may not be happening in some places. So we want to help the customers to make sure that they can give it to us. And a lot of the Chinese products don't have this. They're not at all recyclable. So I'm going more to the rural India, going back to our roots, where, you could use. So we've made some fabulous stuff which is lying in the stores right now. It's made out of a plant. Yeah, so there's a lot of lovely plants here. There's lovely. So I'm learning basically the bamboo mein se kya nikalta hai, what is it called, and trying to get the pricing right, and also giving you the functionality. Just like, so some of them have you can carry the tote with a laptop in it. So stuff that we really need. That's one thing that I'm doing, and also I believe a lot in the power of attraction. So, like I was telling you, I was in Jodhpur 2 days ago, and I was talking to them, and my merchandiser was with me, and she's from Kutch, and I was saying, please give me, people, or anyone over here also who hear this, please give us contacts for people who actually do this work. I don't want a middleman kind of a system. I want someone who actually does it, so we can work with artisans. And I am, finding routes and ways somehow to go and reach there, because the Indian stuff is so pretty, but it just has to be made contemporary. Can't be just what the emporiums put up. And I think the Paris, London will anyways happen. I'm not really, I know it's going to happen. It's like that.
Fabulous. And if there's one advice that you want to give women over 40, of course you can give it to men also, but since this channel is about women over 40, so if there's one piece of advice which you could would want to give them, what would it be?
Please find that one thing that you love to do and make it a business, make it a venture, give your life to it. Do something in the world where you feel your self-worth. You feel, wow, man, I did this. I'm also, I'm also out there, and I also understand economics and all the e-commerce jargon, or the finance, everything. I mean, it's fun. It's not a man's world. There's nothing for us to be really, that, oh, I mean, I don't think a lot of women don't think like that anymore. Anyways, they want to be out there, but just find that one thing that you love doing and you can pursue it. Bachche ko sulakar aadhi raat ko, I remember I used to put her to sleep. I used to also, how it is, storytelling is always like, before the kid goes to sleep, you've gone to sleep. But then I used to get up and get on back. Okay.
So it was a fabulous interview as usual, a blast with you. And thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Thank you. You were very motivating. Every time you said good answer, I was like, okay, wasn't a good answer? You're used to saying it. It felt good.
I won't just say it for, I'll say it like it is.
That's true.
You're watching Not Just Aunty with Suman Chhabria-Addepalli.